Hi, everyone. Welcome back to a Liquid Lunch here on Money Monday on Biz TV. I'm Fernando Uribe filling in for John Tobacco during hour one. You don't want to go anywhere. We still got a lot to talk about here during the first hour. And John Tobacco will join us at the top of the hour at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for hour two of Liquid Lunch here, Money Monday edition. Folks, some news of the day I want to share with you. And tragically, and my thoughts and prayers go out to him, but America's mayor and one of the attorneys working on the president's legal team right now as it comes to challenging a lot of the election fraud that we're seeing in many of these states as a result of ballots being counted or what's not counted. Rudy Giuliani has tested positive for COVID-19, according to the office of the president. Now, as we all know, President Donald Trump was diagnosed with COVID-19 back in late October, and we all know that, what a rapid recovery he made. So certainly shout out to the president for that, and we're hoping that Rudy Giuliani can also make the same recovery, as we know that he's been in contact with a lot of people in recent days and weeks since Election Day, and with a lot of these challenges still being litigated in courts all across the country in different states. We know that Rudy has been traveling and giving press briefings, and without question, I'm sure that this is something that has to be addressed, and I'm sure many within the inner circle of the president and the legal team have to be, on high alert, obviously. I'm certain that many within the legal team are being tested as well. And we're hoping that Rudy Giuliani does make a rapid recovery, because God knows we need him during all the litigation that's going on right now. I know that John will talk about more of that during the next hour as to an update as to what's going on from state to state in terms of the ongoing legal challenges that are transpiring as a result of Election Day. And folks, we all know that, listen, John's done an amazing job these last few weeks, really detailing and outlining a lot of the discrepancies and the inconsistencies that we're seeing when it comes to ballots being casted, when they were casted, the legitimacy of them, and so on and so forth. So definitely something to keep an eye on, and more importantly, I think it's something to keep an eye on when it comes to Rudy Giuliani. Certainly a man who is up there in age. We certainly hope that he makes a rapid recovery and can get back to work as soon as possible, because we all know, for many of us that are rooting for the president, we're hoping that he get reelected. We're hoping that these election results, especially some of the more suspicious ones in the states that have been discussed at length for the last few weeks, will be indeed overturned, or at least have their day in court, ultimately, if it reaches the U.S. Supreme Court. So we'll see what goes on, definitely in those developments. And certainly we wish Rudy Giuliani a speedy recovery, as well as his family. Hopefully no one else has been testing positive for COVID-19, but if anyone has been, again, my thoughts and prayers are with them, and certainly with anyone else within the president's legal team. Now, another aspect of the news of the day here that I think should definitely catch your attention is the senator from the great state of Florida, Marco Rubio, fellow Cuban. And one of the things that I really applaud the senator for is sort of outlining and highlighting the fact that many Americans, according to recent polls, are tired of the coronavirus hypocrisy that's being put forth by numerous Democrats. And of course, I share the senator's sentiment. The fact that Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, received an Emmy for his press conferences. Well, folks, if that's what we're giving Emmys for, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're diluting the value of the Emmy Award, because if there's ever been a more unproductive and more ridiculous display of hypocrisy, it's Andrew Cuomo during his daily press briefings. And to give that an Emmy Award when there are so many more worthy recipients, I think is downright disgraceful. But let me not digress here, because I certainly don't want to take away from the strength of Senator Rubio's message. But he did rip into COVID hypocrisy among Democrats in a recent edition of Fox and Friends, saying that Americans are tired of the constant double standards. For example, the senator from Florida pointed out to the fact that the liberal media has been scolding the president and his supporters for holding rallies during the summer, throughout the pandemic, and even following the silence over the crowded victory celebrations for President-elect Joe Biden. The senator wanted to say, quote, "When people took to the streets dancing in tightly packed crowds, celebrating because of Biden's election win, nobody said a word." And it's the same with the stuff now. We've got these people that own a business, that have put their whole life's savings and work into it, and you got some guy behind a Zoom camera on television who gets paid to work from home, lecturing them about how they need to close their business and not work and not employ people until they tell me it's okay to do so. So it's an enormous amount of hypocrisy, and people are tired of it. Folks, I've talked about this on my own program as well. I know John Tobacco has on multiple occasions. Liberals and social justice clowns and the woke fools and all these progressives are, they applaud whenever it comes to a Black Lives Matter, right? Peaceful protest. Or when it comes to advocating for, I don't know, whatever other liberal causes, come up during the news cycle, that's okay. But when good men and women want to go support businesses, guess what's going to happen? They'll get vilified by the liberal media. And of course, Governor Cuomo's little brother, Chris Cuomo on CNN, is perhaps one of the guiltiest culprits in this entire double standard, because guess what? This is a guy who had COVID-19, walked around without a mask, is still walking around without a mask, but he's going to lecture you on a nightly basis on a program that nobody watches, on a channel that nobody cares about, CNN, okay, and what you should be doing and how you should be living your life. But remember, folks, when it comes to Democrats and liberals in power, remember, what's good for me isn't good for thee. And that's something to keep an eye out for. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that Americans are taking to the streets, and they're doing it peacefully. They're marching in front of small businesses. They're supporting small businesses like Max Public House in Staten Island. God bless the owner and everybody there who's struggling to survive during this pandemic. And you know what? God bless John Tobacco for being there, right on the street, being right out the spot, okay? And just going out there, all right? And raising awareness and raising hell and being an advocate and being a voice for so many of us that are voiceless during this entire scenario. Because you know what, folks? Even here in New Jersey, during the summer, where I live, for example, in Hudson County, during one Saturday afternoon, yes, I had to be inconvenienced with a major, street being closed down because everybody had to be woke and everybody had to be down with BLM and, their ongoing bitching and moaning, that's all they've been reduced to now, folks. Okay, and that's all cool, and people can all be packed into the little clusters with mask or without mask, regardless. There's no social distancing. That's okay, though. But if people want to advocate for the president or for small businesses, how dare you? You're endangering people. Folks, that's the blatant hypocrisy of the left, and that's what makes a lot of people on the left insufferable, because you say one thing and then you do another. It's like you're talking to both sides of your mouth. And as the senator from Florida said, you know what? Americans are growing tired of it, and Americans are seeing through this BS, because that's what it is, folks. It's BS. Okay, it's the idea that Democrats, those in power, whether it be Governor Whitmer in Michigan, Governor Cuomo in New York, Governor Murphy in New Jersey, Governor Newsom in California, yeah, you know what? They can go out to eat with their families, and that's all well and good. But you know what? When small business owners and restaurant owners are struggling to survive, and they can't open their restaurants at even 50% capacity, which would be much more financially and much more sort of economically feasible for them, no, they can't do that. You know what? I share in the senator's sentiment, because you know what? If there's ever been a time to highlight hypocrisy by the left and by Democrats and by progressives and all the social justice clowns and all the woke fools, it's as clear as day, folks. I know about you. You should definitely see it too. Folks, we'll be right back right after this. Here we have a great guest coming up here on a Money Monday. We'll be talking to Joe Pinion, a Republican strategist and philanthropist. He'll have a lot to say about what's going on about today's political climate, and he joins us right after this.